Why do you love me?
Because of how you love me. It's a very spiritual love. I've been through a lot, and you never see me for what I've been through. You know, you see me for the best that I give to the world and I give to my family. And when everything starts to weigh on me, you breathe life back into me. That's why I love you. I love you because you're you. I love you because you're you to me. You know, I just love you because you're a gift that I get to experience in this life until I don't anymore, until I meet you again. That's why I love you. This thing was, it's God engineering, so it's perfect.
In the beginning, God created Adam and placed him in the Garden of Eden, a place of perfect harmony and beauty. However, God saw that it was not good for Adam to be alone, so he created Eve from Adam's rib to be a partner, his equal, his companion. This act is often interpreted as symbolizing the importance of companionship and partnership in our lives. Adam and Eve lived in harmony with one simple rule from God. They were not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Scholars suggest that the rule was a test of obedience and trust. As partners, they had to navigate this command together, which likely raised questions between them about trust, obedience, and boundaries. However, the serpent representing temptation and deceit approached Eve with a question. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden"? This question planted doubt and led to Eve and Adam questioning God's command and ultimately disobeying it. When God confronted them, he asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" These questions from God were meant to make them reflect on their actions and consequences of listening to deceptive voices. Reflecting on these questions, we see the importance of communication, trust, and honesty in relationships.
Yo, friends, everybody in America, today is going to be a fun experience. If this is your first time here, hey, I am Danny Daniela, and you are watching Dear Creator. This is my YouTube channel, my experience, all my thoughts. I'm just putting it up on the YouTube world, and I'm inviting you all to go on this self-awareness, intentional journey with me. And today, I want to experience relationship questions. So I have curated some great content from the internet where people are presenting to us some questions that are quality when it comes to being in a relationship or starting a relationship or even in the middle of a marriage. What are some quality questions that you can present to your partner? And I'm also going to go over 5 different relationship apps that you can use in your day-to-day or your month-to-month to make sure you strengthen your relationship. But before I get to today's video, I definitely want to, this is so perfect, y'all. It's so perfect. I want to shout out this perfume brand that I've been using. It's an all-natural perfume brand, okay, from Art by Moore, who is a sweetheart. But I wanted to share this with you all because this is a friend of mine who has created jewelry. She has actually supported me at the beginning of my YouTube channel. She has done everything to be just a delight. And so I want to share with you all her new perfume brand that I have tried myself. And I'm not saying it just because she is my friend, but it smells good. And it's all natural. So the thing about perfumes to me is that they have that alcoholic smell. It's just too much. It's not giving life. It's giving death. Okay. But this is giving life. And I want you all to check out her website at artbymore.com so that you can see some of the goodies that she has there. And it's a more smell. We were talking about okay, so it's pretty. So I'm so excited. And let's get into today's chat. So here's where I am in life. I was putting a line about the wars online between men and women. They're going back and forth. They're finding everything to argue about. There's the 50-50 or what a man should do, what's required of a woman, who's a high value man, who's a high value woman, being fat, being skinny, being tall, being short, being rich. And I said, I don't want to keep complaining about this. Maybe I can curate some content, okay? Curate some content that's just going to give us a little bit of a fresh share about love. Because I have started to figure out this life, y'all. I'm starting to figure it out. My theory, okay, is that we came down here to learn how to love through all of the chaos. So sometimes that might mean I'm going to learn how to love someone that's hard to love, or I'll have those who are easy to love, those who are difficult to love, those who may not be worthy of love. So I want to love them. And I can also experience love in different ways. Maybe love is isolation from you. Maybe love is discipline. Maybe love is treating each other like we love ourselves. And so today, there are so many different brackets that you can find yourself in as it relates to relationship questions. It could be one of the following A through E, and I'm going to share with you guys. Let's do A through E, and I am going to put them on the screen. And for today's conversation, let me know where you sit the best when it comes to relationship, when it comes to love, relationships. Because I did put relationship with God in here because I want to talk about it. Just for a little bit, y'all. Just for a little bit, but kind of a lot. But just for a little bit, I want to talk about relationship, okay? So, where do you sit the best? A through E. A, are you single and self-reflecting? B, are you building a relationship with God? C, are you wanting to be in a relationship? D, are you currently in a relationship? E, are you married? Or F, are you interested in today's conversation but unsure about relationships? So keep that in mind. Just choose one of the letters or choose multiple letters if that's your case. And at the end, I'm going to have 3 quality questions for each of those brackets that you can use. But hello, we're going to go through a lot of questions today. So get your notebook out, get your journal, make sure you activate your mind and your critical thinking skills. We're going to watch this video, and I would say I want to share this first video with those who are starting any relationship. I think these are really good starter questions. So let's watch this from a creator here. Let's see, present.
And then the other one's like, oh no, I don't believe in marriage.
These questions right now. Ask these questions before getting into a relationship.
You better ask these questions right now.
Because I asked her this question before getting into a relationship.
And I asked you too.
And we made sure to get the answers to these questions before we got into a relationship.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Period, babe. Tell them, babe. The first thing we spoke about was marriage. Make sure you ask the person, do you want to get married? Because a lot of people go into relationships thinking they want to get married, and then they change up their minds. And then the other partner be like, oh, I want to get married. And then the other one's like, oh no, I don't believe in marriage. Like, which one is it? Do you believe in marriage or you don't believe in marriage?
Absolutely.
Like, you need to pick one, right? If I'm in a relationship and I'm like, babe, I don't want to get married, and you're in a relationship where you want to get married, how's it going to work?
Absolutely.
We're going to be playing house inside the house.
Correct. Marriage actually ties the knot. It puts you in a position where you feel as though, yes, this is my family. This is what I need to work towards on. This is what I need to build. And this is exactly how I'm going to live the rest of my life. Answering that question, it saves you so much problems. It saves you a lot of headaches. It saves you a lot of things, because at the end of the day, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're not necessarily married to that individual, that person can literally get up at any time and be like, I'm out. I mean, even though, yes, people do get married actually still divorce regardless of whatever happens, but it puts you in a mentality, it puts you in a situation where you feel more secure, you feel more safe. All right, so the very second one that you guys need to talk about before getting into any relationship is religion. Yes. Religion is crucial. If you cannot talk about your religion, if you cannot talk about exactly the faith and the belief that you believe in, somebody could be an atheist, you could believe in God. How is that going to work? You see what I'm saying? Those are the questions that needs to be discussed. I'm not saying it cannot work, because it can, but you guys need to figure out a way of how to make it happen. A lot of religions and a lot of people believe that when you're in a certain religion, you should not marry anybody outside of the religion. At the end of the day, that's everybody's independent beliefs. But at the end of the day, you still find people that find love from different faiths, different backgrounds, and they come together. And I feel as though talking about how the relationship is going to work, focusing on exactly how you're going to raise your children through the religious aspects is very important.
If you guys are in different religions, always have like a plan on how you guys are going to execute whatever you're going to go through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, if it's your holiday, how we're going to do it? You know, how's my family? Is my family open to that? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter about what the family thinks, because this is your family. But like, you should always figure out how you guys are going to go about it, so it makes more sense. Which leads me to the third question I asked Collins was kids. You know, how do you want to raise your kids? You know, and what faith do you want to raise your kids? You know, those are the things that you need to ask your partner, because it's like when you talk about religion, kids come in the picture. If that's something you guys want, if you want kids.
Absolutely.
I don't know, some people don't want kids, but yeah.
Absolutely. And she's absolutely right. Kids is the next big thing. You know, I'm saying, do you want to have kids or you don't want to have kids? These are questions you got to ask. How many kids
you want?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? How many kids you want? How do you want to raise them? What you see what I'm saying? These are the things that you need to talk about. Instead of you guys worrying about his favorite color, what type of ice cream he likes,
Yeah.
all that foolish questions is not going to get anywhere. You got to ask the real questions. The real questions that's really going to be the foundation of the relationship. If you're not asking those questions, my friend, you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to be, it's like you're being ignorant. You don't know what's going on. You see what's happening, but you're completely choosing to ignore it.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So the next thing is, how do you deal with problems? How do they react when you're mad or upset? Those are things you need to know. You need to ask people that know him and know of him or his family, somebody that's close to him. Always ask those type of questions, because I feel like people go into relationships and they get abused and they don't know how or why.
You don't want to end up in a relationship with a man that has anger management issues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to end up in a relationship with somebody that can control their anger. They flip out the moment conflict arises.
Yeah.
You need to be with somebody that knows how to de-escalate situations, is more, doesn't have anger issues, combative issues, a little bit more mature. Not saying that everybody has to be mature right then and there, but at least somebody that is reasonable, that can actually control themselves.
A man should always know how to solve an issue. Like, I'm someone that I'm gonna call my man every single time. Hey, babe, wait, what? Like, what do I do? Like, I need to know. Like, so a man should be a problem solver. Like, know how to solve problems when things goes left.
The next question that is very important, that needs to be asked at the very beginning of any relationship, is gender roles. Exactly how do you guys see yourself performing household duties, work-life duties at home, living together in a marriage life? I feel as though these questions needs to be asked, because at the end of the day, right, I come from a traditional background where the man is the one that is going out fetching for food, and the woman is basically the caretaker and nurturing type of, woman that does all those kinds of things and stuff like that.
Caretakes, nurtures.
But at the end of the day, right, but the thing about it is that in our relationship, right, those things are important, but they're not as important as it may be to other people. Like, for example, at the end of the day, I may work, I may do all those kind of things. She may work, she may do all those kind of things. If the dishes are in the sink and it needs to be clean, I'll clean them. I'm not expecting her to do every single thing in the household. If I know I can cook, I will cook. If I know I have to clean, I can clean. That is exactly how we basically work in our relationship. Every household is different.
So don't compare your household to theirs.
Exactly.
Or others.
That's right. Just work on what you already have, work on what you're going through,
and build from there.
Build from there until you get there. Okay. Everybody's life is different. There's no need for comparison. Yeah. That's what you need to do.
But those are the questions you need to ask your partner.
Yeah. Be sure to ask these questions.
Okay, fine. Let me know in the comments. Were there any questions that stood out to you? Are you the type of person? I think that loud. Let me just down just a little bit. Are you the type of person? It's like, see how funny I am? Okay. Are you the type of person who are having these questions on deck, or these type of questions when you're dating? And there's a theory out there that sometimes when you are engaging with someone, having a lot of questions can feel like it's an interview style. Like you feel like you are on the stand and you're going back to back to back. But I would consider this. If we don't have these quality questions now, then we might lead or enter a life of chaos, right? When I go back to the story of Adam and Eve, they have questions. I mean, they don't really have questions for each other. There isn't any understanding of like, why did you want to get that fruit? Or what did you learn about that? What is that fruit going to give me? It's more of a blame because they didn't have a conversation. And God comes in and has a quality question to get them to think about what's going on, who's telling you these things, right? So what type of lies are we consuming because we don't have quality conversations, or we don't have make that time for those questions? Yes, it might feel like an interview, but lighten it up, get creative with it. Be like, hey, do you want to have children someday? And then, smile. If we really want to have quality relationships, and we're saying that men need to pick better and women need to pick better, one of the ways that we can pick better is through questions and getting answers to those questions and understanding who we are, understanding what the process of love is and the process of marriage is. Like, if we're going to get into these type of commitments, what do these things mean to you? Now I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to share with you one of the 5 apps that you can use in order to build your relationship and have fun with it. Now, out of the 5, this is the only one that I have experienced with the love of my life. Okay, and we love it because I am a lover of games. I am a lover of games and love and God and scriptures. Okay, And so this one doesn't have scriptures, but it does have games, and they are really interesting. So the first one on our roster today is the Parent Act. So I'm going to put that up on the screen. I'll give you a little description, and maybe you can check it out so that you can learn if it's the best fit for you and your lover, okay? And these are for people who are interested in a relationship. If you are just interested in building a relationship with God and just using a relationship theme of love, look at some of the questions throughout today and maybe modify them and edit them to what you want to learn about love, or how do you want to enhance your communication with God with just regular questions that you might even have for the love or potential love of your life.
Paired is an app designed to help couples improve their communication and strengthen their relationship. It offers daily questions, quizzes, and exercises to spark meaningful conversations. The app also features expert advice from leading therapists. Users love Paired for its engaging and thought-provoking content. Many reviews highlight how the app has helped them discover new things about their partner and improve their communication. While it doesn't have planning features for daily life, its focus on relationship health and intimacy sets it apart from others.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the next video from a creator talking about love. This is what we need to do. You need to practice. So here's the framework. This is what we need to do. Here's what we need to practice. We need to practice looking for the content, looking for the communities, looking for the mindset that supports what we actually see. The best way we can understand what we actually want to see is what's irritating us. Like for me, when I started this video, I said, I don't want to complaining about the wars of men and women going back and forth. So putting myself in environments, creating content, creating mindsets that support what I actually want to see in America of the United States is the angle that I would take. Because the theory here is if I don't like it, I don't want to keep repeating or really keep consuming this type of content if it does me no good. What is the benefit of consuming content that's going to break you down, make you heavy, deteriorate your skin, or make you stink, okay? Amor, okay? By amor, you perfume, okay? So we're gonna go into another set of questions that are quality questions that you can use in a relationship. What are the questions that you can have for your partner? And this is one thing I noticed is sometimes you can be with someone for a long time and not know the answer to a very important question, or not know answers to what's important to one another. And so I like this set of questions that we're going to watch right now. Okay.
Number one, what behavior or like thing that I do triggers the fuck out of you? Because at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm doing to you, but in some way or another, I seem to consistently piss you the fuck off. Ooh. So what exactly is it that is pissing you off?
Are you comfortable talking to me about anything? And listen, be prepared for the worst. I'm just telling you now.
Yeah, you can't get your feelings. If you get your feelings, it defeats the point. Do you feel like I'm nurturing? Now, as a woman, I do feel like you should ask this. If he says something that you don't like, instead of cussing him out, just digest it and walk away.
What is something that I could do to make your bad days easier? That one could definitely avoid a lot of issues.
That's a really good one. Oh, I love that. What's something I blame or put on you that has nothing to do with you? This could be trust issues. This could be my fear of abandonment. This could be anything. What is it that you never did to me that I'm putting on you all the time?
Okay, very good questions. Very good questions. I challenge you all in the chat to bring those questions home to your partner if you haven't already had those answers, and write them down in your journal if you want to prepare how you want to answer these questions. This is one thing that's beautiful about journaling. It gives us an eye. It gives us an outlet for us to feel the things that we don't process every day, because all the thoughts are just in our mind. It's just thinking. And we might say them without thought. When we get arguments, we have disagreements, we're just saying what's coming up with the feeling attached. But sometimes we just have to be strategic and intentional about what it actually is that we feel, and what are we thinking, and where are those thoughts coming from? Are they coming from a deceptive source, or are they coming from truth itself? And so I think these are really good questions. I'm interested for you all to let me know in the chat if any questions stand out to you. And if you also want to add to the conversation, the relationship episode, what are some quality questions that you would present to partners that you are going to meet, or your partners that are in active relationships? And for those who are building a relationship with God as well, what are some questions that you had to present to God as it relates to building that foundational relationship of love with God and love itself? All right, so Here's our next app. It is the Evergreen App. Have you heard of the Evergreen App? I have not used this app before, but it has come up in my news feed. So I see, what they promote. So I'm going to share it with you. And maybe this is also another resource you can use in order to engage your partner with quality conversations and strengthen that relationship.
Next, we have Evergreen, an app that helps couples grow together through thoughtful prompts and activities. Its nature-themed interface and features like a couple's bucket list, quiz games, and weekly check-ins makes it a delightful choice for long-term relationships. Evergreen is praised for its charming design and the variety of content it offers. Users appreciate the daily quotes and the way the app encourages them to plan and dream together. Unlike other apps, Evergreen focuses on gradual growth and daily inspiration, making it unique in its approach.
So let's go ahead and look at another set of quality questions. So these next set of questions, I think that they are beautiful, especially if you are in a deep relationship. And so I actually went through these questions with the love of my life, okay? And I love the responses because they were very hard questions, especially would you want someone to date the person that you are? And hearing the responses and all those things, it definitely does act as a truth teller. Sometimes we're going to have these hard questions that we don't want to experience because what if they say something I don't like? But the process that we heard in maybe 2 videos ago, or maybe was it just the last video, is don't get in your feelings. Feelings, they fluctuate. We are positioning ourselves to get into deeper relationship, which is going to acquire some discomfort. But once you get through that discomfort, your bonds will strengthen. Practice it, see where it takes you. And this is also an indicator on if there is weakness in your relationship. If you aren't able to have a conversation with your lover and have these direct, intentional questions, what does it say about the relationship you're building? Is it a relationship that's built on solid rock, or is it built on something that's not solid rock? Okay, let's go on to these next questions.
I found a thread on Reddit that was 5 questions to ask yourself if you're unsure about your relationship.
Ooh.
If someone told you you're a lot like your partner, would this be a compliment to you? Are you truly fulfilled or just less lonely?
Nice.
Are you able to be unapologetically yourself, or do you feel the need to show up differently to please your partner? Are you in love with who your partner is right now as a whole, or are you only in love with their good side, their potential, or the idea of them? And would you want your future or imagined child to date someone like your partner?
Oh, those are excellent questions. Because if you say no to any one of them, just end it.
I don't know if I completely agree there. If you say no to, I think maybe 1 or 2 of them, it just requires more question. And then there is the opportunity for you to determine if you're willing to grow in those areas, or if you're willing to figure out why you feel that way. Because as we learned before, some of the ways that we see our partners or we see the life that we want to build is based off of deception, is based off of lies, it's based off of lack of principles. And if we tear that down and figure out why we actually think the way that we do, it could be an opportunity to build a relationship. And what I like about these set of questions is I would even extend these questions to be questions to use if you do want to build a relationship with God. And one of those questions I heard is, do I feel like I have to be someone else in order to be in this relationship? That was a big question for me, because if I'm reading the Bible and the Bible is telling me all of these list of things, and if I'm even consuming content from those who say they believe in God, am I able to be who I am? Is who I am enough? And you'll hear a lot of content about that, but I really had to get in depth with that type of experience with God, because I learned that who I was built off of what everybody thought I was. And I got to learn more about who I truly am by getting into a deep relationship with God. So what happens is I thought I was someone that wouldn't fit this life of doing all the things of God, right? Not that I was out here running the streets, but it's just rule after law after law, which is like, I am exhausted and I'm tired and I don't know if I can do this all the time. And one of the ideas that came out of this experience of building my relationship with God is to just breathe, sit, and know that I am God. Breathe and sit and listen and see exactly what I am saying versus what our others are saying. Breathe and listen. And when you look at the content and the stories, what's matching and what's not matching. Again, that is a process and a framework that I take everywhere. If they say the energies aren't matching. If the energies aren't matching, don't make it match. When we have these conflicts online and these people think this way and they all hate women, okay, don't match yourself with that content. Go match yourself with content that love women, that appreciate women, okay? If we have these wars online about, oh, these men don't like these women that are this color, or they only date these type of women, go and match yourself. Be equally, be in agreement with your thought patterns. Because if you're always pulling and having this war of, oh, they don't like me and I'm mad at them, you can't force people to be what they're not at that moment. What happens sometimes is we separate ourselves from people, and then they might look around and say, well, maybe something is going on with how I'm disturbing life. If there are people who are disturbing life with their word choices, with their choice to speak death versus life, and you remove yourself so there's no one to speak death to, they won't have that an opportunity. So those are just thoughts for us to lean into. Let me know in the comments if any of these questions stick out to you, and would you use them in a conversation with your partner? Okay, so here's our next app. I'm going to put that app on the screen. This is also another app that I haven't tried out before, but I did a little research, some resources that you can use in order to strengthen your relationship with the love of your life, or your potential partner, or with God. Okay, well, wait. I don't think God can use these apps. So the app to strengthen your relationship with God is, guess what? The Bible prayer. That is the app that you, I didn't even know it was going to count, but hello, yes, that's those who are strengthening their relationship with God. Use the Bible. You can actually use the Bible app too. Like, there are tons of Bible apps out there in order for you to ask questions, get more insight, but couple it with the desire and the interest. I had to turn my heart posture to like, man, I don't know if it's true, because everyone was saying like, this is a scam, the Bible's a scam, religion's a scam. Okay, and I thought like the same thing, because I was just going with the flow of that energy of like, oh, it's so evil. But when I actually had opened the Bible and really looked at the words and looked at the stories and matched it to what my prayers were showing me, game changer. Okay, so this next app is Between.
Between is perfect for couples who want a private space to share messages, photos, and memories. It also includes a shared calendar to keep track of important dates and events. Reviews for Between highlights its simplicity and effectiveness in keeping couples connected. Users love the private messaging features and the ability to store cherished moments in one place. Its focus on privacy and personal connection distinguishes it from the other relationship apps.
There you have it. We have Between, and we are showing you these different resources and apps between wonderful content creators who are sharing application. How do I apply these tactics of self-love and love in my relationship with the art of questions? So let's go and watch our next creator. These are coming from a page called Mingo.me on TikTok. So let me go ahead and read these questions to you all and put them on the screen so it's bigger for you to see. These are deep conversation starters. 1, just by looking at me, what would you think I do for a living? 2, what's something new you've learned about yourself recently? 3, do you have any unconventional opinions when it comes to love? 4, what part of me did you fall in love with that you never expected to? 5, what's something about us that you hope never changes? 6, what was the first thing I did that shows you I actually care about you? 7, what's your favorite thing about the way I kiss you? 8, what's a fear you have about us that you haven't told me yet? Okay. So those are the questions there from Mingo.me. Let me know in the comments what you think about these questions. And then also, here's another thing about the questions is most of us have these healthy relationships, okay? We have these healthy relationships and we believe that we don't need a guide in order to help us have stronger conversations. And this is not to replace the fact that you are authentic people and that you can have good conversations. But as I experience the world and I observe, there is an opportunity for us to strengthen the type of of questions that we have and then get a close-up on with those questions. And so for those who are experts at it, I will say that anyone in my life, I am a question person. I will have questions all day, and I love gamifying my life and playing games all together. So I love the type of games where you can get to know people. And so get to know me games is my jam, and I love it when you can do it with a partner. So I'm actually going to go ahead and navigate to another one that I'm going to read off the screen before we go into our fourth app to display. All right, so this is from the creator, Confident, Lyuna, your favorite cousin, okay? And I'm going to read these out and put them on the screen for us too. So one says, what made us first connect? Number 2 says, what memory of us makes you smile? 3, how have we grown in our relationship? 4, how can we celebrate each other more? Number 5, how can we bring back the excitement of our early days? 6, what new goals or dreams can we pursue together to bring freshness to our journey? 7, how have our views on life, love, and happiness changed since beginning this relationship? 8, what qualities in each other do we admire? 9, how can we make time for each other despite life's demands? And 10, what can we explore or improve to deepen our emotional and physical closeness? Now, as I'm on this journey of looking at all these relationship questions, I am excited because I want to go into all different types of relationship questions when it comes to our friendships, when it comes to our children, if that's, application, when it comes to the relationship that we have at work. Just build an authentic relationship with questions and being able to even go through these hard questions are strategies that we can approach in order to heighten and enhance this experience here on earth. And some of these questions, even now that I'm reading and coming off the screen, I would even relate to, again, relationship with God, but even relationship with friends. Like, how do we make time, intentional time? If I say I want to build a friendship, what do I want to do in order to apply those principles, especially if I'm looking for particular friendship, right? Particular love type or love interest. And the other thing I want to pull out of these questions is through the art of questions, you will learn how to eliminate the relationships that aren't for you, right? If I have a relationship with someone and I can't be honest and open about hard questions, it gives me an idea of what type of experiences I'll have with that person. But then we also think about our framework. Maybe we are a couple that don't need to talk much. Maybe we are people of little words, and that's how we process things. Those are things that you can learn through a relationship and the art of questions as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the fourth app on the list, which is called Love Nudge.
Love Nudge is based on the 5 love languages theory, helping couples understand and meet each other's emotional needs. It includes goal-setting tools, to-do lists, and progress tracking. Users find Love Nudge helpful for learning more about their partner's love language and enhancing their relationship. The app's structured approach to a goal setting and reminders make it stand out, especially for those interested in personal development within their relationship.
We are going to develop ourselves by being more aware about who we are engaging with and what quality questions we have for life itself. Let's go ahead and watch our next video. Now, this is going to say 72 questions to have for your partner, but it's only going to give us a few, and it's going to give you like a, come find me. So I want to make sure that this page gets its promotion because I'm using their content, curating content. Yes, so I'm curating content to contribute to our thoughtful experience here on earth. This one is coming from Elevate Minds with a double S. They have 72 questions, but they're going to show us a few of them. I thought these were really good questions for us.
Here are 72 questions to ask your partner. 1. What was the first thing you noticed about me? 2. When you look at me, what do you see? 3. How do you describe me to other people? 4. What qualities make me special to you? 5. If you could have 3 wishes from me, what would they be? 6. What are your goals for us? 7. When did you realize you were in love with me? 8. Would you say you have a type? 9. Do I fit what you thought you were looking for? 10. What could I do for you that I don't do now? In order to get access to 62 more questions, please check out the series 72 Questions to Ask Your Partner in the link below.
So really, we have a lot of different questions that we can get from these apps that I'm sharing. But also, I want to encourage you all to just write in your journals and try to dig into those questions that you want to or you don't know and try them out. Maybe you have a relationship where you don't have enough time to just sit there for an hour, but make time. I would say if you can't make time for an hour, learn how to make time, because time is just a beautiful thing. Anyway, I think that having questions that are personalized to you and your experience, especially those hard questions or questions you're interested in, there's room for it. And I think for a woman, or for people who identify as a woman, it might be that we might be more interested in these questions and men are like, da 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 da. But if a man happens to come across a video that's not love my life, they watching people, hey. But if you are a man, I would challenge you to take time to answer these questions, because it's also going to be for your good, right? Especially in the beginning of these relationships. Like if you're a pop to love and you're looking for love, sit down, have quality questions, or even coming on to that experience, there are quality questions that only take a few seconds for you to get answers to in order to determine whether I can even go forward. That's one thing with any of the things that we do in life, questions. Okay. With this Dear Getting Daniela series, we are going to have a lot of questions as it relates to any of the things that we experience on Earth. We're going to go through a process, a framework, in order for us to be more confident in the decision-making skills that we have and the experiences that we engage in, especially if our call to action is to have heaven on earth, or to experience a better environment, or to get and reap the fruits of our experiences, instead of always having something to whine about, always taking in negative content, always thinking the worst of things. We want to start to structure our mind to look for the best out of life. And that's just find and replace. Find things that are not working for you and replace them with something different intentionally, so that you can reap the benefit, like I said several times already. Okay, so let's look at this last app before we go through our last video. So this last app is called Lasting. Okay, the Lasting app. What a cute ending. Very cute.
Lasting, an app designed to offer marriage help assessments and sessions on various topics like communication, sex, and parenting. It's a great tool for couples looking to address relationship challenges. Lasting receives high praise for its in-depth and structured approach to relationship health. Users appreciate the expert-led sessions and the ability to work through issues together. Its focus on comprehensive therapy-like sessions make it unique among other relationship apps.
There we have it. So let's go ahead and watch the final video. This is my favorite video, and I want us all to just dig in, line up, watch this video, because it's the perfect ending. It is just the perfect ending. I love this video so much for so many different reasons. I want to know in a comment what you all think as well. So this is a video from Michael Spence. Tell us what's going on, Michael Spence.
Look for in a wife. She said, I want to give you this assignment. Go write everything down that you look for in a wife. I said, all right, cool. And this was easy for me. I knocked this out. And then she said, also, I want you to do in that same day is write down everything that you think you need to work on as a man to become a husband. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I had about maybe 3 to 5 things that I think I need to work on as a husband. But what I need in a wife, I had about 30. I had to flip it on the back side of the page. And she never got to my list on what I need to work on. But all she said about my list on what I need for a wife is to become that. I said, hold it, but look, I got all this stuff here. She said, Mike, I don't need to read it. All I'm asking you to is to become that. Because it's a travesty for you to desire for something from someone that you're not willing to get, or that you don't have. So instead of us focusing on finding the right mate, let us become the right mate. That's the only way you could try.
Yo, y'all can't tell me that was the perfect outro. Y'all cannot tell me that was not the perfect outro, okay? Because it was. It was absolutely the perfect outro, because in all of these things, can we become this person that we want to see in someone else? Because it's fair. It's fair. Especially when it comes to building and curating the best experience for ourselves outside of the people. Because it's nice to have relationships. Bonds are so important. 2 is better than 1. Communities are important, and it's wonderful to have that pure relationship, the relationship with God, in order to guide all of the other relationships. In my opinion. Okay. But if you have one solid relationship because you took the time to have these intentional questions to isolate those who aren't supposed to be in your world, and so you can curate an experience that fits your ideal. That would be worth the investment of time that it would take to look at these questions, to go through these questions, whether it's a new relationship, an old relationship, or whatever. So before we end the video today, I'm going to revisit our letters A through E. Where did you sit? I know we're going to do a lot of questions today, so perhaps you are all questioned out, but I wanted to make sure that if you didn't hear one question, you heard another question. If you didn't hear that question, there was at least one question that you stopped and you paused with, and you're like, I'm going to use that question. So if you chose the letter A, everyone who chose the letter A, raise your hand. Here are the 3 quality questions for you. What are my core values and beliefs, and how do they influence my decisions and actions? What past experience have shaped my views on relationships, and how can I learn from them? And 3, what qualities am I looking for in a partner, and why are they important to me? For those who chose letter B, here are 3 questions for you. How do I experience and understand God's love in my daily life? What aspect of my life do I need to surrender to God's will and guidance? 3, how can I strengthen my relationship with God through prayer, scripture, and community? For those who chose C, what steps can I take to prepare myself emotionally and spiritually for a future relationship? How can I cultivate patience and trust in God's timing for finding a partner? What are non-negotiables in a relationship, and how do they align with my faith and values? For those who are currently in a relationship, here are 3 questions for you. How can we improve our communication to ensure we both feel heard and understood? What are our shared goals and dreams, and how can we support each other in achieving them? And how can we incorporate faith and spirituality into our relationship to go closer to each other and God? For our married couples, here are 3 questions. How can we keep our relationship strong and vibrant through the challenges of our daily lives? What practices can we adopt to ensure we are growing together emotionally, spiritually, and physically? How can we resolve conflicts in a way that honors our commitment to each other and to God? And then last, for those who are just interested in the conversation or are unsure about relationships, here are the questions for you. What am I hoping to gain or learn from a future relationship? What are my concerns or fears about being in a relationship, and how can I address them? And lastly, how can I prepare myself to be open to the possibility of a relationship when the time is right? Okay, friends, we definitely made it to the end. I want to thank you all for experiencing the relationship episode with Dear Danny Daniela. If you made it this far, we are friends. Okay, even if I don't want to be your friend, we are friends through the internet. Okay, and that's definitely okay. If you don't want to be my real friend, we are just going to experience this life together. All I need you to do is click on that like button so that you don't miss out on all the fun, and so that you can help me share this relationship episode with others who might find interest in quality questions. Until next time, hold on to you as much as you can. Hold on to your health, your well-being, and your mind. Be mindful. Bye.